Hey there. Something a little bit different today because as you can see, I want to talk a bit about Gundam, and there's a few things that I want to talk about. First thing is about the Gundam kits themselves and how they build, and the second thing is what the options might be to use it for conversions for Warhammer, because that was my main interest. Now, the Gundam kits have been around for a long time already, and I've been watching them for quite a while as well. But I never really got into them, mainly because of how complex the system is. There's like 15 bazillion different grades and scales and whatever, and I mean, they look cool, but I never knew why I would actually want one, because the way you see them usually is like this. It's more like a toy. It didn't appear to me really as a model kit. But it really is. What I did is I tried 3 different grades, which also have 2 different skills. And I also tried something that's not necessarily a Gundam, but this is the 30-minute missions line. And there are some similarities, but also some big differences. About the kits, so this is a high-grade model, this is a real grade model, and this is a 30-minute missions, which is kind of similar to the real grade. No, so here we go. This is exactly the problem. This is kind of similar to the high grade, so the intermediate one, in how it constructs and what it is, but the looks are slightly different from the Gundam style. So the Bandai made their own style for these, I guess, just to set them apart a little bit. The first thing I want to say about these models is that they're just incredible fun to build. I think the building process is one of the biggest parts of the hobby, which is right up my alley, because that's one of the things I like best about about Warhammer as well, like the building and the converting, and the Gundam these kits really play into that. It's amazing how well these things are built and how much articulation there is in the system once you have it complete, but also in how detailed these kits are, and I mean, the amount of parts that just go into this bottom half of the leg is insane. It's not necessary, right? Just to give a small example of this, and this goes mostly for the master grade and the real grade and the master grade models, is the fact that this arm comes straight off the sprue. This is how you cut it out of the sprue. By itself, it already has 7 points of articulation, I guess. So it rotates here, it rotates here, it bends here, it bends over here with two hinges, it bends over here, and then there's the entire wrist part. I mean, I have not assembled anything here. I just got it out of the sprue, and this is what happens. It's magic. It's really, it's insane. So that's one of the real cool parts. So there's more inside of this model than you can just see from here. And I think the next part of the whole Gundam hobby is the posing, because these things are incredibly posable, and there's lots of mechanics in there that make extra articulation and movement while you're bending the knees and the arms and whatever. And the fact that you can pose it in almost any pose and it will just stay there and be stable as well is insane. I mean, I'm so impressed by how well this works and how great this builds, and that you have a hand with a separate thumb and a separate index finger, and that it can actually hold something as well. So it's not just falling out, but it's actually gripping something quite nicely. So yeah, so simply building it is already so much fun and quite a good pastime, just to sit there and marvel at the tricks that the company has up its sleeve for making this. So that's one thing, and then the level of detail differs quite a lot between these ranges. So this is the high grade, and like the level of detail, it's still great, but it's just a lot lower than the real grade, of course. If you want to look at it from a conversion point of view for using parts or models for Warhammer, I think this is slightly too low detail level to make external parts out of it. I mean, there's lots of mechanical parts that you can still use, like the cabling and I mean, this is still cool, like an engine part or whatever. I think there's still big potential for using these parts as well. but maybe a little bit less than the real grade models. And I think that goes the same for these 30-minute mission models, which are again detail-wise roughly the same as the real grade. No, the high grade. This is gonna be a problem forever. I don't know. The high grade models. So there's lots of detail, but it might be that you have to decorate these parts more if you actually want to use it for 40k or. But the cool thing is, especially from this range, is that they have all kinds of stuff. So they have these humanoid robots with arms and legs, which are looking quite different from the like the more sleek Gundam style that you usually see. It's a little bit more mechanical, and you have cool legs and stuff like this. So I bought these kits for these parts actually, to see if I could do something with it for Warhammer. But they also have like these kind of weird tanks. What I think is really cool about it is that there's actually all kinds of mechanical parts that you could use to build something else out of it. So there's lots of potential for bits in this range. And it's actually cheap if you compare it to Warhammer bits sourcing. So this tank cost me €8, I think. This robot with lots of extra bits, which I don't have here, cost me, I think, €12. This one cost €15. I mean, it's not cheap per se, but for the amount of stuff that you get, it's actually quite impressive. What I also did, so this is, as I said, this is high grade and real grade. For just to be complete, okay, that doesn't fit. I also got a master grade one. I mean, this is not even the highest grade that there is, but the amount of detail and complexity in the kit for master grade is really, really special, really great. There's all kinds of, even if you have built it already, there's details that you can still move around. But what you immediately see is that the master grade is a different scale. So the real grade and the high grade are 144 scale, so 144 to 1, and the master grade is 100 to 1 scale. So that's actually really a big step up in size, which for me is kind of too big for my liking, for my taste. So if you would size it up to Warhammer, that's what we're here for, of course. There's a couple of things to say. So if you look at the actual scale of the models, especially the real grade and the master grade, they come with small pilot figures as a scale, just to show how big they should be in real life. So this is a master grade figure, and this is a real grade figure. Yes, I'm saying it right this time. And you see the difference in size. And for me, the most interesting comparison would be, of course, the epic scale. So epic scale is roughly around 1 to 220, which is Z scale in the train model train universe. So here we have a Space Marine versus a Gundam pilot versus a Gundam pilot. The middle one, which is real grade, is almost twice the size it would be scale-wise. Does this sentence make sense? I don't know. The scale is about 2 times as big, because this model is a teenager. Figure it out. I don't know. If you want to make a real measurement, be my guest. Can we use this for some Warhammer? And I would say, yeah, probably. Maybe not in the most easy sense that you would think of, because if I just stick this to a base and stick on some Warhammer weaponry, to have a cheap dreadnought, a cheap dreadnought. But that's the point. This is a cheap dreadnought. It just doesn't make sense. I mean, the visual style of 40k and Gundam are too far apart to make this work. It's gonna take more work than just this. Could you make it work in epic? Well, the story is the same. Scale-wise, it works, kind of, but visually it really doesn't. So I don't think that this really is the way to go. But there's definitely a way to go. As I just said, it's just scavenging bits of it. I think there's a lot of potential for using this kind of stuff in some cool builds. Especially adding some gothic parts and some nice cabling or whatever. And definitely for the obvious choice would be Tau. There's lots of potential for using these models in that range. My thoughts more go to Adeptus Mechanicus, because there's lots of mechanical parts that could be used as a basis or a part of a bigger build. The mechanical detail in these models is great, and I think you could do some really cool stuff with this. So my guess would be that this is your best bet for scavenging bits. So these smaller kits with lots of weird things. So in fact, I've already been building 2 projects with some of these parts. One of the projects I can't show you right now because it's a bit of a more long-term project. But the first one that I am going to finish is this Tech Marine Dreadnought that you might have seen already. I've been using a couple of these purple 30-minute missions part. So the plan here is to make like a Tech Marine Dreadnought or an Iron Hands Dreadnought with a lot of tech bits. And while it's definitely possible to find proper servo arm bits of this size in the current Games Workshop range, I thought it might be nice to see if I could use some of these Bandai parts. So I'm quite happy with these results and how it's starting to look. It definitely needs some grim darking up because it's too clean right now, but that definitely is going to happen. A lot of cables and some skulls and some icons will probably help a lot with that. But I'll show those in a future video. For now, this is it. Hope you found it interesting. I'd say give Gundam a go. It's a lot of fun. And I'll see you next time. Goodbye.